Welcome to our webinar today, titled Time for Change with Peter Durham. Just before we go into the introduction and all that, just a few local rules. Please just put your mic on mute so that we don't have any interruptions as we go along with the presentation. And also, we'll have the Q&A after the session. So if and when you have a question, just keep it close by. And as soon as we open up the floor for questions, you will be able to unmute yourself and then ask your question. So today's webinar is all about time for change, a healthy work-life balance. Peter, we're looking forward to the topics that you're going to cover. And without any further ado, we're going to leave the floor to you.
Okay, great. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I want to talk about, first of all, why I felt there was a need for a presentation like today's. I think many of you know I've worked with many pros over the years, and I've seen successes and failures. I've seen people just sort of limping through their career in golf. And I spend more time nowadays talking to people about their work-life balance than I do about laying out stores or managing their staff or integrating with their club management, because I see so many guys out there, so many pros working very hard, missing out on the niceties of life, and yet getting very little money.
We can leave at Liam
My house and the background. Okay, so basically, to make a change in your work-life balance and what you're doing right now, it starts with you. So if someone's, for instance, said to me, over the next 10 years, I'm going to work very long hours, 6 days a week, take very little holiday, in order to earn an awful lot of money, then pack it in and go off into the sunset, I would say that's a great exit strategy. So I think that's great. So if that's what you're going to do, but you're going to be paid lots of money, so let's say £250,000 in sterling or more, and you can bank that money, have a couple of million quid in the bank after 10 years, and just say, right, I've almost burnt myself out, but I'm off now, I'm going to tour the world, buy a camping car, buy a house or a chateau in France, whatever it might be, then that sort of strategy works. However, if you're working similar hours and earning very little, and you can't retire with a pot of cash, then the question I would ask you is, why are you doing it? Okay. And the next thing, which most pros don't twig when I'm working with them, is that you don't have a business to sell. So let's just say you've got a guy who's got a printing company in the UK. He's working very hard. He's got lots of accounts. And then within 15 years, he can sell that business for a handsome profit, and again, has an exit strategy. But most of you don't have that luxury. Most of you actually have a business you can't sell. And you could be served 3 months' notice any given time. Which means, unlike owning your own business, you could end up with nothing to show for your loyalty and years of hard work, other than a bit of stock and some shop fittings. So for me, the only option available to most of you is to get a better work-life balance now and start enjoying every moment of the journey, because this is not a rehearsal. This is a one-way trip for all of us. So at the end of this seminar, I'm going to help you with this, and I'm going to give you 3 things to do it with. First of all is a time management top tips document, which I would expect you and I would like you to print out and stick everywhere, in the office, at home. Put it onto your phone to remind you what you need to be doing in order to make your work-life balance better. The second one, which we'll go through, is a document called Let's Create Time exercise. How can we make more of the time what we have and spend it better? And the third one is a goal setting exercise. As in, where do you want to be in a year's time? Where do you want to be in 5 years' time? And what do you need to do to get to that position in your life? So what I'd like you all to agree to is not to put these documents away after this presentation and forget about them. The first thing you need to do is make time to complete these 3 exercises. So that's your first challenge. And the benefit to your life and your stress levels cannot be underestimated. And you will thank me for making you do this. So that's the reason why we're going to go through this presentation. And at the end of it, we'll have some questions about how we can be more effective in our day-to-day lives. But now I'm just going to seamlessly, and I'm sure it won't be, share my screen with you for the presentation. And we'll make a start. So hopefully, and I'm sure I'll get told otherwise, you should be seeing the initial slide of the presentation. So, titled Time Management, Make More Free Time, Less Stress equals Happiness. And the picture there, which I quite like, is, are you too busy to improve? No, thanks, we're too busy. No, leave us alone. And the guy's offering up round wheels as opposed to square ones to make their life a lot easier. Time for change. It's not just about the number of hours that you do each week. It's about what you've actually achieved in those hours. And could you have been more effective and efficient in what you've been doing? So let's start by taking responsibility for ourselves. So the first question I would ask you is, are you currently heading upstream or downstream? Upstream means we're paddling hard and not getting anywhere, which leads to unhappiness and stress. And downstream, finding your flow, relaxing a bit with a strong sense of happiness and contentment. So which one are you? That's the first question. Are you paddling upstream and dealing with lots of problems each day and what I call firefighting and being reactive as opposed to proactive? Or are you actually managing your time effectively and you're enjoying the journey right now? If you are, then you perhaps don't need to listen to this presentation. But I would suspect that most of you are not in that position. So, time for change. For me, you're either problem-centered, as in, what's the next problem that's heading in my direction? How will I deal with it? You're being reactive, so you go into the office or the club each morning, and then within 2 hours, there's problems you need to solve, things that you didn't see coming, and your particular list for that day gets pushed back to the point that perhaps nothing on your list gets achieved. Or are you goal focused? In other words, you have a goal for that day, for that week, for that year, and each hour of each day is actually working towards that particular goal. And you clearly know, and you will get things from time to time that derail you and distract you and so on and so forth. But as soon as you get the opportunity to go back on your goal focused objectives, you can do so. But if you haven't actually done the exercise, then how do you know where you're actually going in life, or indeed what you're trying to do with your particular business? So you need to be goal focused and not just centered around chaos, and what's the next nightmare heading down the track towards me that I have to deal with. Very important. So the first document I'm going to show you on the screen is a goal setting exercise. So this is something you need to actually go away and do. And again, you need to take time to sit and ponder this, and it might take you a day, an hour, a week to actually come up with where you want to be in life. So the document will go through what you want to achieve in the next 5 years, what you want to achieve in the next 6 months, what do you want to achieve next month? And have I got goals in my work and other areas of life? So it's not just about work, it's about work-life balance. So are there certain things you wanted to do on your bucket list? Are there certain things you want to learn how to do in terms of a new skill, a new hobby, a new activity? You just want to get better and get back to that quality standard of game that you used to play when you weren't bogged down with all the bureaucracy of a golf club. You need to make sure your goals are smart. I'll come to smart in a second. Challenging and personally motivating. So specific, measurable, achievable. Okay, so it needs to be realistic and achievable. Time framed, as in what are you giving yourself in terms of time to achieve this? And do my activities today relate to the goals that I'm now just set? The actual document for this, I'm going to show you now, is here. And so I've put it here. It's career, it's financial, and it's personal. So next 12 months, what do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Second question, which I've always worked to for most of my career, is where do I want to be in the next 5 years? What plateau do I want to achieve in the next 5 years? And then in 5 years' time, where do I want to be in the next 5 years? So there's always a plan, whether that plan's a get out plan with enough cash to enjoy life, whether that plan is to take the business to another level, whether that's a plan to have more than one shop and more than one income. It could be lots of different things. So once you've got those plans in place, you then need to say, what do I need to do to achieve these or your objectives? And then write them down in order. And you might need to use a bit different piece of paper, a separate piece of paper. I've given you 5 spaces to put these in. And then time frame. What's the time frame for each one of these things that you need to do to achieve your personal goal based on your career, your financial, or your personal life? And just a comment there, successful people plan and set themselves goals. Always. Never come across anybody who has, is successful in life and doesn't do that. And people who fail or don't achieve in life, they don't plan to fail, they simply fail to plan. Okay, so that's the first document I'd like to complete after this presentation. Okay, so why do the goal setting? Well, you can identify tasks that you need to do. It also allows you to decide when you get requests to do things, whether to say yes or no to those requests. Because if that task is going to divert you from where you want to be in life for a 6-month or 12-month period, or whatever it might be, then you can actually say, no, it's not actually taking me in the direction I want to go in my life or my business or my financial projections. So I'm not going to do it. It also gives you a great sense of being in control, because now I know where I'm going in life. I've planned it out. I know what I need to do this year, next year, and the year after to get to where I want to be in 5 years' time. You have a sense of control. And it gives you a feeling of success when you achieve these objectives, and it spurs you on to achieve more. Okay, the second exercise I want to cover today is about let's create time. So the first question when you do this exercise is, what things would you like to do that doesn't currently feature in your typical week of life or your working week? So what do you want to achieve? And that could be walking the dog more often, having a bit more time at home, getting out on the golf course at least once a week, working on your own game, going outside of the business to do more external marketing and engagement with possible business partners. There's lots of different things, but what are you currently not achieving, but you would like to achieve in your current working week? And how much time do you need to find to do these things in your weekly schedule? And so in this exercise, what I want you to do is put into 3 categories the things you do each day and each week within your business. And for me, there are 3 categories. There's a must do, as in I must do this because I'm the only person that can do this, and it will affect the business if I don't do this. The second one is you could delegate, but you don't. So for instance, a lot of pros I've worked with, they don't trust their staff to take the money to the bank. They do all the banking each Monday, but if your staff are trusted to deal with your customers, the most important aspect of your business, and take money then and deal with all the other things that happen in your business, then they must be trusted to be able to do the banking. So therefore get someone else to count the cash and take the money to the bank. That frees you up to do something else. Another example is that, pros are not great with accounts. So if you spent £200 a month, for instance, on a bookkeeper to organize your bookkeeping, how much time would that free up for you to do other things? So a bookkeeper would actually give you more time to grow the business and to come up with more money spinning ideas rather than just doing spreadsheets and stuff that perhaps you're not particularly good at. And then the third category is things that you shouldn't be doing, and you must delegate, or you should delegate, but you're not delegating. So 3 categories. So again, I'm going to come out of this and just show you the document I want you to complete. So tasks you must do. Okay, so I'm saying write the task down. How much time does it take you to do it? Tell me why you must do it, because often you might think you must do it, but perhaps it isn't necessary. Someone else could do it even better than you, perhaps. And even if they do it to 95% of your ability and not 100%, that 95% is good enough if it frees you up with 4 or 5 hours a week to go off and make money for the business, or do more coaching, or do more club integration, or submit that report to the club management so that you can get on really good terms with the club management. So, why do you have to do it? And then the other question is, if you do have to do it, could you do it in less time? So list these tasks on this particular form. And then the second one I want you to complete is things that you do, but you could perhaps delegate. So list them, how much time it takes, because that time is what you'll actually save, and then action required to delegate. So do the staff need training on that particular part of your business? For instance, buying products for the shop. Lots of pros always do the buying plan and actually attend the stock rooms. I often find the most successful businesses don't actually work that way, because if you bought the stock and you've chosen the stock and the stock arrives, there's no ownership with the member of staff. Whereas if a member of staff actually helped you with the buying plan, attended the stock room, made the choices on what was going to be bought for next season, obviously you can still sign off the purchase form, so you know what they're spending. When that stock comes into the shop, there's a sense of ownership because they've actually been part of the process of ordering it. So what happens is you can instead of finding boxes of stock on the shop floor, or in the back of the shop for a week later, in all the examples where we've actually done this with my customers, the stock has been unpacked and put out on display and ticketed within hours, because the staff were involved in the purchase. They've got a sense of pride, they've got a sense of ownership, and now they're going to prove to you they've bought the right stuff by selling it at the right price. So often, if you get the staff to do the buying and not you, you sell more, because they actually can't say, well, I wouldn't have bought that. I don't know, it's the right thing for this time of year. I'd have gone with a different brand, because the members don't play that brand. They have ownership. They made the decision. So therefore, 9 times out of 10, they're stood in front of the customer. They're the ones that have to sell it. So getting them involved in the buying helps your business, and also frees up a huge amount of time for you to do something else in a different direction that adds more value to the business. So again, list all these things and then actually detail what you need to do in terms of training or empowerment to get them to take over the responsibility and free up more time for you. And then the third one is things that you do, really you shouldn't be doing. So again, list them. How much time do they take to action? And then what do you need to do to train a member of staff to take over that duty? Now, at the end of this document, you can tot up all these hours that you've saved per week, per month, and per year. And I'll show you on the presentation. It comes out to a huge amount of time back for you to do other things. You'll be amazed how much time it saves you. Okay, so delegation often is difficult. If we've been a one-man band for so long, we do struggle to let go. But seriously, you need to let go and empower your staff. They'll be happier, they'll be more engaged in the business, they'll be more loyal to the business, they're less likely to look for a job elsewhere, they have the opportunity then to earn more money, they will actually feel a sense of empowerment and involvement, and they will feel a sense of ownership. So share the responsibility with the staff, share the duties with the staff, and also share some of the successes and profit. So reward them for doing a good job and get them more involved, because if they drive the business forward for you, it gives you more time for you and also generates more profit. And share in the profit with the staff, and you'll find they'll want more and more and more and more. So give them the authority. Make sure they have the ability, I train them up. Be very clear in your communication about what you want them to do. Set milestones, as in so you can judge how they're doing. Give them support throughout the whole process. Encourage decision making. Don't let them feel or don't let them worry about failing. You know, if they're doing it for the right reasons and that's for the good of the business and the good of the customer, then if they make a mistake, well, you know what? That's part of life, isn't it? That's part of the learning curve. But make them analyze what they've done if they've made a mistake, and then get them to submit what they feel they do next time to learn from their mistakes. Some top tips for time management. I'm going to go through now, but the document I'll give you later has far more. So if you don't know how you are spending your time, start a log, start an activity log. Write down each week how much time you spend doing the banking, dealing with suppliers, chasing customer orders, all these different things. How much time do you spend? Because then when you start writing them down, you'll be amazed by the time you spend on certain things. And it will also highlight certain things you don't need to be doing, like chasing customer orders, for instance. It should never be you. It should be a member of staff, or indeed the member of staff that took the order. Quite a good one. Make use of your diary to plan and make appointments with yourself. So actually diarize on a Tuesday afternoon between 2 and 4. You have a meeting with yourself for 2 hours about planning, promotions, engagement activities with the golf club, training sessions for your staff, any of these different things, but build it into your diary so it's blocked off, as opposed to trying to find time during your busy day. Book the time out just to go and sit and have a coffee, or take a drive, or go and sit by a lake with a notepad or an iPad and just have time to think about your business. Very, very important. Also, equally important is scheduling time for pleasurable activities. Okay, so all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, I think is the saying. Just build in time for you to do certain things, and you'll be amazed when you do it and you go away and you've planned it and the staff know all about it. You'll come back and you've not been missed, and yet you'll sit there and stress and think you need to be doing certain things, when in fact the staff just perhaps want you to go away, let them get on with it, because they're taking control and taking responsibility for your business and getting more involved, and you'll be better off for it, and so will they be better off for it. So again, make time for you. And when you've done your goal setting, keep a record of the goals close to hand to remind yourself on a regular basis about what you're trying to achieve over the next year or 5 years, and where you're going with your life and your business. A big one, which we're all guilty of, is that we allow emails and social media to distract us. So treat that aspect of your life, and often it's way too much, as a specific activity. So in other words, you set a time, unless it's really urgent, in which case someone can phone you anyway on your mobile. But if it's an email, set a time each day to look at emails, and that's it. Or if you're looking at Facebook or social media, set an amount of time to do it, and then that's it. Do not find yourself flicking through your phone constantly throughout the day, because you will not achieve anything, and it will distract you from what you're trying to achieve with your business. And most of it is utter nonsense anyway on social media. So it isn't going to put any money in your till, and it's only going to distract you from what you should be doing. So treat it as a distraction and put it to one side, and just allow a certain amount of time each day to look at it. And tell anybody, if you need me urgently, phone me. Time management, things to know. Note when your energy levels are at the highest, and make that the point when you do your brain waving, you're sitting down and mulling over ideas. Make that the point when you do that, or the things you need to do to the best of your ability. If you're always tired at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then do not set yourself jobs to do at that particular time. Do them in the morning when you're fresher, or in the evening when you get home over a glass of wine, whatever it might be. But when your energy levels are at their highest, and use that as an opportunity to do what's important. Very important to take time to relax and recharge your batteries. Most people don't, and you're less efficient and less productive, and you're stressed, and that's not good. Exercise. Yeah, there's no reason why we can't do exercise. Sharpens the mind, gets you fit, keeps you going, makes you stronger. So again, set time aside to do exercise. And during the exercise, you can think about things. So when I used to go running and doing activities in the gym, I'd often end up with a notebook, because when I'm sat in the gym doing stuff, I get ideas coming to me. So I used to take notes in the gym, stop doing the weights and go, right, I'll write that down, then carry on again. I used to do that sort of 2 or 3 times a week during the day when I had the business in Cambridge. And I used to go back with, you know what, I've got a new idea, a great idea I've just thought of, because I was away from the business, working out, exercise, in the pool, refreshed, came back, looked at the business in a completely different light. And also find time to develop your capabilities. So if you're not good at a certain aspect of the business, why not get someone to teach you that, or delegate it to someone that can do it, and you do something else that you like doing or can do. Live in the present and think about the future. This applies to playing a game of golf. Last shot's gone, might have been bad, made a bad decision, picked the wrong club, whatever it happened, it's gone. You can't do anything about it. So focus on the present and the future. Learn from the past, analyze by all means, but don't dwell on it. You've done it, so you can't change it. What you can do is prevent it from happening again and do a better job next time, but don't dwell on it. You know, you can't reverse time. So I guarantee that you'll be wasting time every day. We all do it, but and you'll never stop wasting time. But how much time are you wasting? And I would say in most cases, people are wasting a lot of time on things they don't need to be doing or shouldn't be doing. On average, when I've done this exercise with pros, we can find between 5 and 10 hours a week that is currently being spent on unnecessary tasks or tasks that could be delegated. 5 to 10 hours a week. The impetus to make lasting changes has to come from you. So no one can make this happen except you. So if you don't, then you'll carry on being a busy fool, earning not the kind of income that you should be earning, working way more hours than you should be working, and far more stress in an industry and a sport that you love. So we should be the luckiest people in the world working in the golf industry. If you're a pro or you're a good amateur and you love golf and love being around golf, we should enjoy this. But if you're not enjoying it and you're stressed and you don't have any time, it's because you're not making time and you're being busy fools. So let's make time. At the same time, make more money, and let's plan for our future so that, you know, if you really enjoy your work and you've got your stress levels down, you've got the balance right, really there's no need to retire. You know, you've got a stressful job, then people work, then go, right, retired, thank God that's over. But if you're enjoying life, working 4 days a week, playing golf 2.5 days a week with members, making great money, your staff are doing most of the jobs within the shops, you're just wandering around talking to members, overseeing things, having lunch in the clubhouse, going off in golfing days with the members and doing trips abroad, all that sort of stuff. If you're doing that, why retire? Because you can go on to 80 doing that. So therefore, if we get the work-life balance right, it can be a fantastic, fantastic journey in this sport that we love. But these changes only start with you. So if you don't take a good, hard look at yourself, nothing will change. So with a bit of effort, and I'll show you, you can get back a huge amount of time. So you can't alter time, but you can make time. So don't get busy making a living that you forget to make a life. So it's very, very important that we actually do make time to plan our day and use these documents to achieve more. So that's the presentation over. Have I come back to screen yet?
Yes, you're back on the screen there, Peter.
Let's have a look. You all still there?
Yes. Yes, Peter.
Yes, we're
Can you
here.
hear me? Some
Yes,
sound
we can
on.
hear you good.
Still here, very
Okay.
interesting. Let's go.
So what I'd like to do now is just go through a few more tips on saving time and just then take questions from anybody watching the presentation about how we can perhaps make your life easier and more productive and help you achieve your goals in life. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, well, let's start with any questions. Who's got any questions about the presentation, and tell me how you feel you're doing in terms of time management right now at the moment. Who wants to start me off? Who's working long hours and 6 days a week and doesn't feel they're earning enough money? Is that not everyone?
Most people do that.
Yeah. So how do you feel you can change that? Any answers?
We've got one hand there. Louis, you can just unmute yourself and answer the question, eh?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
I can hear you.
Yeah, Peter, how's it going, man?
Good. You?
Yeah, good. Yeah, so we work in the kind of service industry at a driving range at the Golf Village in Galulis. So I know exactly how it feels to put in so much time, yet we have very little time to live. So we're putting in a lot of time to be successful, yet like I find myself, I am lacking in the life part of it, and it's very hard for me to find the balance.
Okay. And do you actually have a staff under you that you're responsible for, or are you?
I do,
You all
yes,
are-
but the one downfall is we have a very high staff turnover. So the guys tend to come in, feel that they're working too many hours, and the shifts are very long. And when I say long, I mean they go quite late into the night, like 9 p.m. And then the guys don't like that. So I kind of tend to take the role of double shifts and stuff like that.
Okay. And do you think if we approach them differently, as in got them more involved in the business, gave them more responsibility, gave them particular tasks to try and achieve that, perhaps had some reward at the end of it, we might get less staff turnover? Do you feel?
Again, yeah, it's something we're busy looking into and working on at the moment, just to see how are we going to do that and what is the benefit going to be for them, which is quite a difficult thing to do because one isn't the same as the other.
No. Okay. And in terms of yourself, do you set yourself have you set yourself a goal? Have you set goals for the next 5 years, the next year, where you want to be in life? Have you done that?
In the next year, yes. Next 5 years, kind of not at the moment. Right now, I'm kind of in a bit of a crisis mode. So in the last day, we've had like 3 resignations. So like it gets a bit tough. So we kind of forget our future, and like right now, just kind of thinking of the now.
Okay. And what do you see as your exit strategy? So I mean, obviously you're working in a business, yeah?
Yes.
How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
45 at the moment.
Okay. So at what point do you want to take things slower or stop altogether?
Well, that's a tough one. I've said, like, in the industry of golf, we can kind of go until we got 1 foot in the grave. You know what I mean?
You
So,
can, as long as your balance of life is such that you're enjoying the benefits of what you're doing, as in playing golf, going on holidays, getting some time with the members, getting time with your friends, not working 5 days a week,
yeah,
getting some time with the family and the dogs and whatever it might be, and your friends. That's fine if that's what you're achieving. But if you're not achieving that, then we need to change something to make you achieve that. And if you can't achieve that, then you need to have a get out plan where you can do the things you want to do in life. And as I've
yeah,
said, if you have a business you can physically sell on the marketplace because you don't own the pro shop, you're working at a golf club, you're employed, then you need to be doing something else in order to be able to do that. Whether that's investing in property on a buy-to-let scheme, whether that's investing in shares, whether that's having another sideline business that you've started up,
yeah,
whatever you are doing, what you can't afford to do is get to 55 in 10 years' time. You're still no better off, no nearer exiting, still working with staff leaving left, right, and centre, and you're now 10 years older.
correct. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, my wife and I actually had that conversation like 2 nights ago, where they always say you need to have that solid 5 streams of income or 3 streams of income. And it's quite difficult to find something, which is what we're busy trying to work on at the moment.
Yeah, it is. But you need to find it, and you need to find it whereby, I mean, in life, you're either a Elton John or a
Yeah,
McDonald's. So if you're an Elton John, if you don't turn up, you don't get paid. Yeah.
correct.
If you're a McDonald's, you have businesses all over the place, and whether you get out of bed next morning or not, you've made a fortune. So that's, if you are a brilliant coach, for instance, and you're earning great money, that's great. But only if you don't turn up and coach, you don't earn that great money.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you're happy doing that and you want to be 75 and still coaching, that's fantastic. But if you think as you're getting tired, more golfers need lessons, same old stories, same old swing habits, blah, 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 then the only way you can do that is to develop a teaching academy where you're now employing staff to teach. And you start overseeing the business. So now you have 4 or 5 or 6 teaching pros that are earning you an income that allows you to step back, which
Yeah.
you could then sell on, or you just got a better work-life balance where you're choosing the clients that you want to teach, and you can be more, specific about ones you really want to teach because they're a great player and have great potential. And the average Joe knocking up wanting to get from 18 to 12 can be dealt with by other staff, but you're earning money from them. So again, for that particular person, you need to do something different. Otherwise, you will be stood there for the next 30 years in the rain or sunshine, teaching just the same, going over the same old thing with someone else.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to tickle your brain and hear from you outside of this, and just chat with you a little bit and see where we go from here.
Yeah, more than happy to do that, because I spend more time. I'm so much more passionate about this than anything else now, because I meet so many great guys who are lost, who were great players that don't make time to play golf. They're stressed. They'd make more money working in a supermarket down the road if they actually analyze how much money they make.
Yeah.
They're in the golf industry, but they're not enjoying the golf industry. I've seen so many that I didn't get to who have left to become estate agents and do other things because they get their weekends back with their family.
Yeah.
And yet they're qualified as a pro. They love the sport. They love the industry, but they just can't make it work. And they're working very hard, earning no money, and they leave the industry hating it. And that's very sad when I see a pro who went into the golf industry because they love golf and they want to help people play better golf and grow the game, and they end up leaving it and hating it and never picking up their golf clubs again.
Yeah. No, I've seen it myself.
That's very sad. But there is a way, if you do it properly, where we can find a way to enjoy the journey, enjoy golf, get time to play. Because the amount of pros that I see that don't want to play, then they haven't played for so long, they daren't play because they go out and play with members that they coach. They might shoot higher, so therefore they don't. But then the member says, "Well, why would I have lessons off you? You just sort of 92, So they get stressed. So it's a very sad situation to be in. And yet I've got other pros. I've got a really good work-life balance. They've empowered their staff. The staff are doing the buying. They're doing the banking, the buying, and the merchandising. They're all earning really good money because they're on commission as well. They're all got their own coaching revenue, but they have to put a certain amount of hardware sales through the shop, and the staff don't go anywhere. And
Yeah.
the shop is earning a fortune. The staff are really happy, and the pro says, "I haven't worked so little in my life and earned so much."
Correct. Yeah.
And the golf club loves him because he's always available to sit in committee meetings and make decisions about growing the membership and spend time with new members and so on. So he's actually very, very secure in his business because he's not behind the till. He's actually in front of the business. And the staff are doing that kind of work, but he's heading it, talking to the club, talking to the members. The members love it. He takes them to Turkey twice a year for golf trips, and he earns another 5 or 6 grand for doing that and playing golf in the sun. And he's in a great place. And that's because he's empowered the staff. And he took over a position where the previous pro, took a third of the income and their staff turnover was high. And he left the golf club, and the new pro that's gone in there over the last 3 years, it's taken him to get to that point, is loving life. And so he may never retire because his life is like a semi-retirement in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to chat to you after this and get your details. And yeah, I'd love to take this offline. It'll be great.
Yeah, no problem at all. And for anybody else, same thing. You know, I will look at what you do in detail, and I'll happily go through the documents and fill in what you do and how we can change this. But I'm very, very passionate about helping you guys continuing golf and also enjoy it. Just earn more money, get good holidays, get time for yourselves and your family, get time for your golf, and also, you know, enjoy the experience. And there's so many out there that aren't. And yet, I think if they step back and had a look, they could do a lot more to change where they're heading.
Excellent.
But they just don't get involved in the day-to-day stuff and go, and it's like this, and they never get off this conveyor belt. When in fact they just stop for a while and just stop, step back and looked at themselves and go, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Yeah, let's change it. And I mean, one example with a pro that I was working with, he had never gone on holiday in the summer. His wife's a school teacher, so they didn't basically have family holidays for 30 years. And he said to me, I'm fed up with this. And I said, right, well, you need to tell the club. You've been here 25 years. They like you. But you're going to say at certain July, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. August, I'm taking a week off, whatever it might be with your wife, because she's a school teacher. And he presented this to the golf club, but he was very worried. But when he presented it to the committee, they went, why didn't you do this years ago? We're very happy for you to have some time with your wife. We love you. We want you to go off and have a holiday like the rest of us in the summer. You don't need to be there day and night in the shop. And so it was embraced by the committee. So it's now changed for him. The only problem is he should have done it 30 years ago. So there's an example.
I feel like I'm in that realm now. Like, where are we going? What's happening? Because we're kind of working more than living.
Yes, and that's what you need to do is say, right, let's just take stock of where we are, what's happening, what we do, and what can we change to make our lives better, and what can we do to earn more money, work less hours, and get a better work-life balance. And indeed, you'll be more productive and better as an employee for the business. So you'll be more productive, much happier, much more smiling, much more relaxed, and you'll deliver a better service for your club and your members.
Excellent, Peter. I appreciate the conversation, man. Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure. So any more questions out there? Did that help? Has anybody got the balance right? Can anybody tell me they've got the balance right? They feel like where they are is exactly where they want to be. And they've got the... You have? Pierre? Can you, on Mike, can you tell us about that? Can we get him online? That's what I asked. Can we get him online or not?
Yes, you're still there.
Yeah, there's no sound though from Pierre.
Oh dear. Well, we can still hear you this side.
Oh no, but I was going to ask him. He put his hand up saying he's got the balance right. So I was quite fascinated to know how he's done that and
okay.
Sort of... impart his knowledge.
Yo, please just I'm not sure who it was, but yo, just unmute yourself and tell us more about it.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Brilliant. Yeah, good. So you've got the
Yes.
balance right. I'm fascinated to know and learn more.
I'm about to get it right. I've just been promoted as a senior PGA pro at Anahita. Guess is doing. We are having lots of here at Anahita. We've got lots of Vida owners, so I'm trying to get to balance my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm getting a better salary. Obviously, I'm happy with it, honestly, and I'm trying to work less and more.
Okay, good. And then you are, and to do that, are you empowering your team around you to do that? Is that what you need to do to delegate more and get more involved?
I've got a lad that I'm training and trying to get him to do his PGA apprenticeship as well. He's called Sebastian, is his name. He's with me now in my team, and he's doing great. He's doing great, honestly. He's not having the same salary as me, but he's getting there. He's getting there. We're thinking about getting him to do his apprenticeship this year. Our golf director here, Tristan, is his name. He's from France. He's trying to put everything on the new budget for next year for him to start his PG apprenticeship with us.
Great, perfect, great. So that sounds like an exciting opportunity, then, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, it is indeed, honestly, and I'm happy, and I'm honestly happy about what I've been compensated.
And will that mean that you're working closer with the club and the management of the club and integrating with them as part of a think tank team?
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
Great.
Yes, indeed.
And again, that's so important because you can add more value to it, and also that protects your position because if they see you contributing and being involved,
for sure,
you're an integral part of the business.
Yes.
Which means you should never go home at night and be worried about getting an email from the committee saying, come in and see us. Because if you are speaking to them on a regular basis and they're all friends and you're working together on different things, you're not stressed.
I am indeed.
That's perfect.
And we've just signed a contract with Callaway as well. So we're going to be doing fitting as well with our academy. Tomorrow, just send me your details afterwards, please. Tomorrow, I'm going to send you some pictures there, please. And it was very, very fruitful, though. Thank you very much for the webinar.
My pleasure. And one little thing about making time as well. One of the things you can do when you make time and you free up your time working with the club is actually, and I think it's very important, is submitting a report to them about what the pro team are doing each month. Because often they don't know and we don't tell them, yet you're doing so many things. But if you send a report each month, basically saying how many new members have been looked after, how many new members have been integrated, how many people have had lessons, what you've done in terms of running competitions, any ideas you've got to grow the business next month, what promotions you're operating on and value you're giving to the membership. That sort of thing is very powerful.
That's a great plan. That's a great plan, Peter. Thank you. Thank you
I'll
for
send
that
you
advice.
I'll send you the template for that.
Yes, please.
And you can submit that out. But it's just a monthly one to submit to the golf club. So even if you haven't got time to attend and it happens, instead of a committee member saying, well, what's our pro doing what's the pro team doing? You can go, well, that's what he's doing. Because there's the report for last month. And look what they've been doing. Look at the people they've dealt with. Look at the membership they've retained, people that don't play well, that they've sorted out. Look at the different events they've done for our membership and so on. And it's very, very powerful for you to get across your message that you are an integral part of the golf club. So I will send that as part of the package from today as well. So you can all have that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice evening.
Anybody else? Any more questions been fired across, Francois, via email or messages and stuff?
Not in the chat box or anything.
No.
Yes, please ask your question, eh?
Good afternoon.
Okay, struggling to hear there. Sorry, is it Dan?
Okay, Dan. Dan. My question. In Nigeria, this week, the June 7 to June 7. But due to the economic fast of Nigeria, get paid in weeks work hard.
Dan, I think maybe
Every
just
day.
type your question in the chat box so we can read your question because we're struggling to hear you, eh?
Yeah, I can't get any of that, but you type it
Okay.
or submit it, I will definitely give you an answer.
Okay, thank you so much.
Peter, just while Dan is typing his question, just out of interest, how do you keep your team motivated when you sort of get to that level where you delegate and everything is working like a machine? How do you sort of keep them motivated not to think, oh, but also we like as a team we're doing most of the job. The pro is sort of enjoying life. We also want to try and enjoy life. Sort of to avoid a situation where they might sidetrack you or I don't know how to put it, but just to keep the
Yeah, I know
team
what you mean.
motivated in a positive way, not in a jealousy type of way, if I can
Okay,
put it
so
like that in short.
yeah, no, absolutely. So, well, first of all, they're motivated because they're more involved in the business, so they feel like they're actually a business partner. Secondly, I will share a percentage of the profits with my team. So I would actually share profit. I don't hide it. They're doing my accounts, for instance, and they're looking at the P&L each month because we don't mind doing that, saying this is where we need to get to. In terms of sales and profit, if I make more money, I can pay you more money. But if I don't make it, we can't make it. So the financial aspect that they can manage themselves keeps them motivated. And secondly, it's not just money. So also, if I'm getting a better work-life balance, we need to make sure our staff do as well. So they are getting time off to play golf. They are coming on golfing holidays. I am being quite generous with their holidays and we cover for each other. So yes, there's no jealousy. There's only jealousy if they're working endless hours. You're not sharing in the profits. You're not enhancing their lives in terms of a monthly trip out to a sporting event or a group a group event that you can all do, like karting or whatever it might be. So you need to share in the success of your business, and that can be also that's financial, but also time. Give them time. So if they need a weekend off, like 1 in 4, I used to give my staff 1 in 4 weekends off. So every month they got a weekend off. Now you think, well, how can you do that? Well, I did because I rotated it, and the rest of us just stepped up to do it for them. So, they actually enjoyed the benefits of the business being successful, but also they had a normal sort of life. I didn't expect them to work 70 hours a week for nothing. Yes, there were times when we worked very hard, but we all did it because we were a part of a team. We communicated all the time, and we could all see the end goal because we all shared in the same goal. That was growing the business and so on. But they also shared in that success, but also the downtimes, they also shared in that as well. So keep your team happy. And that's like any employer. They need time off with their family. They need to feel like they have some self-worth, that they're appreciated, that they're earning more money, that they have a career path. So if they do well, what's their next position within your business? Where can they go? If you can't take them anywhere else in your business, then be honest and say, look, in 5 years' time, I think you've outgrown me. But if I can get you there in 5 years' time and you give me some great service, I promise you a great life, great income, a good work-life balance, and then I pat you on the back and shake your hand, and I've been part of your life, and I'm very proud that I helped you get to where you want to be in life. So you've got to be honest and say, I can't keep you here if you're clipping their wings, but you can actually make good use of them during that time they are with you. If you haven't got a career path, you haven't got the positions that they're just hitting a glass ceiling, then be honest with them. But basically, just look after your staff, and that's financially and just small things. Just treat them to certain things in the shop, and just surprise them now and again, and just make them feel valued and liked, and treat them like part of your family. That's the way I did it, and I never in 9 years of running the Cambridge Golf Store, I had no staff turnover. 9 full-time staff, and I left with 9 full-time staff. Now, maybe I was being too soft, but you know what? We put in big numbers, 1.7 million a year turnover sterling. So, we were a big turnover store. But they all shared in the success and the golf days and the fun together, and Christmas round hours and stuff like that. So, they were all very happy, and I still to this day, 16 years later, speak to them all on Facebook and keep in touch with them. So.
Okay, no, that sounds good. No, thanks, Peter. That was really good advice. Dan, in the meantime, we typed this question. It reads as follows: In Nigeria, we work 6 days and resume by 7 a.m. and close at 6 a.m. A week and still earn less due to our economy factor in Nigeria. What can we do about it?
Okay, so you're limited by your market. You've got to, first of all, I would do the time exercise, the delegation and time exercise, as in what do you do with your time? Because I'm sure there isn't a need at the start of the day or the end of the day for all staff to be in. So therefore, can you introduce shifts into your business whereby, you don't need 3 staff on at night time, you don't need 3 staff in the morning. So I would first of all look at the duties you do and see if we can make them quicker, more streamlined, and also are some of the things you're doing not worth doing? Should they be knocked on the head? And secondly, what can you do to introduce a shift system into your business so that you're not working those hours? Because if you're working those hours and not earning the money, you're not giving anybody a good service, because you're resenting the fact you're still there and you can't go out for a beer with your friends, or you can't go out and play golf. So you need the management collectively, and you need to talk to them about it, needs to come up with a solution whereby you can introduce a shift system where if you can't earn the money right now, you can at least get some time off to actually perhaps earn some money elsewhere, or at least have a good quality of life. But if you're not earning money and working all the hours God sends, then the question is, why are you doing it? There's no point. There's absolutely no point doing it. If you're in golf and working all the hours God sends and you're not earning the money and you get no time to play golf, then really, seriously, something's got to change, because it's not worth it. So look at what you can do in terms of creating time by doing things differently. And then secondly, what can you do in terms of delegation? And thirdly, what can you do in terms of shift hours to actually reduce those working hours each day? So at least you're getting 5 or 10 hours back a week. And 5 or 10 or 3 or 4 hours a week is a huge amount of time to get around a golfing or go out for the evening with your girlfriend, or whatever it might be. But just start small, see what you can clip, and then if you've done that exercise, do it again, and then see if you can gain 5 or 6 or 6 or 7 hours a week just by being a bit more inventive, and then come up with new ways to drive revenues in the business and sit it out, or change careers. If you cannot seriously do anything to change it, and you're working all the hours God sends and not earning the money, then seriously, what else is out there? Does that help? Sorry to be deliver of bad news, but at the end of the day, if you cannot change it, then change your situation. And that could be altering those things as I said, or indeed looking at options elsewhere.
Thanks, Peter. Any other questions out there?
No. So we're going to send you all these documents, and I'm going to send you the one about the management report as well as a bonus. And I'll send you my contact details go out, don't they? I think.
Yeah, we'll be able to. You just let us know which email address we can use, and then we'll share that with the members as well.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give you my mobile as well, so you can WhatsApp me if you want to do that. I'm quite happy for that, and then we can have a exploratory chat. And guys, the offer is 50 quid, 49.50 for an hour, and then from that, hopefully, it's resolved things, or we can then decide where we go after that. But I will certainly give you a one-to-one, and you can send me some information about your business before we have the chat. So I'm actually talking about what your problem is or what you want to talk about for that hour, as opposed to finding out in the hour. So you can send that beforehand, so I can set things up and do a bit of research and hopefully have the right documents and the right solutions when we chat. But please let me help you. I mean, I'm here to help, and I'm very passionate about helping you guys, get the best out of life and stay within the golf industry. So whatever I can do to help, and I've done it for a lot of people and haven't really failed. So I'm sure there's a way I can help you and turn things around.
Awesome, Peter. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for sharing all these info with us. We do appreciate it. And we'll definitely get in touch with you like some of the members also requested. So yeah, thanks for that option also. And they're looking forward to walking the road with you.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys, very best. Lovely seeing you all again. Look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thanks
Thank you,
a lot.
Peter.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers,
bye.
thanks,
Thanks, Peter. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.